Hello everyone and welcome back to the Power Slide podcast. This is our first ever dedicated episode to the WRC, a preview for Rally Mexico. And let us introduce ourselves again in case this is your first ever podcast. Joining us for the first time today is Maxi. Maxi, say hello.
Hello.
And we're joined by Matt.
Hello.
Silver.
Hello.
And the other Estonian, Zenor.
Hello.
Right, let's get into it. So, let's remind everyone what happened in the rally before in Sweden, in case they forgot. What happened?
White one.
Tanak won, yeah.
Not much else to say. Victory by Tanak, yes.
Yeah. Newell did a funny thing.
Of course you'd say that.
Surprisingly good.
Breen was fast. Lube got an engine failure in the final stage. Pirelli was being Pirelli.
Hyundai was being Hyundai.
Not really. They were considerably fast.
Yeah, for Hyundai they were actually fairly good.
Cyril Abitable was looking at the cameras and thinking, yes, I should be doing something here, shouldn't I?
Well, at least he is doing more than Julian Monse.
No comment.
Won the power stage. Vitelli was just as slow as ever.
I forgot about Bertelli. I had that erased from my memory. I forgot that that khaki Toyota. I had to erase that from my memory. He's coming back to the WRC in a Puma sometime later in the season. For reasons. Anyway, enough about the whatever that was about Sweden. Mexico. Mexico is our first rough gravel rally of the season. It comes back to the calendar after 2020 when I think got COVID struck and had the last day cancelled, which meant Ogier won. This year's edition has 320 kilometers of rough gravel, and it's a very unique event because it is on high altitude, which means the engines get less power and the drivers get more fatigued as the rally goes on because they have less oxygen and they get more tired. Yes.
Yes.
I think a hybrid will be a bit more.
Yeah, hybrid will be more important this round, won't it? Other things to note, we've got 8 super specials. Thoughts on that?
Silver, as the super special guy, would you like to comment on that?
Even I, as an avid lover of super specials, must say it is a tad bit excessive to have 8 of them.
Should we ask everyone which one is your favorite? Mine, just from the name, is the Rock and Rally Super Special.
For sure.
Rock and
Fantastic name.
Yeah, there's no contest.
I would also like to give a special shout out to Las Dunas Super Special that's being held 4 times because reasons. Okay, anyway, enough about the Mickey Mouse stuff. Day 1 is 120 kilometers, and day 1 is probably going to be the most important day of the rally because Mexico is very known for its road, the importance of the road position, because the first car will have to sweep the road for the others, which what it is, in case you didn't know, is road sweeping is basically the first cars sweep the road of loose gravel and give the rest behind a cleaner line so they have more grip and they benefit from it.
Absolutely. Well, coming into that a bit, I think we must say that the first cars are going to be losing quite a lot of time. Like if you looked at Sweden, you got a bit of a sense for it with Roman Berra losing quite a lot, being the first guy out, and as different of a rally as Mexico is, I think it's gonna be roughly the same in terms of the loss for the drivers out in front.
I think it's gonna be worse, way worse. I think we're gonna be seeing. What was that stage where Breen got the massive advantage? Broadby.
Yeah, possibly.
I can't remember the name, but I think we're gonna be seeing The first car on the road losing like 0.7 seconds per kilometer ish. That's my rough estimate. Okay, that might be a bit
important that
much. Half a
The
second
first
per kilometer.
stages after the stage 1 and 2 are super specials. Stage 3, first of the Friday, is El Chocolate at 29 kilometers.
That's gonna be
So
a
it's
rough wake up for the crews there.
Yeah, and it's gonna set a strong tone for the day.
You need the. I think it's really important to say that the person who will win this rally is the person that's gonna be ready from the start. Like, decided that I'm going to push on this stage. I'm gonna push on this stage, and get the hammer down early on. And yes, we
Yeah,
should.
for sure.
Yes, sorry.
If you don't
Yeah,
remember the El Chocolate stage, Lappy's car caught on fire there in 2020.
No, yeah. That'll wake up your memory. Anyway, considering that on the first day we have long stages already, then the drivers have a better road position, can just instantly go in and yes, I will push on El Chocolate or any other long-ish stage on the first day and establish a pretty big lead, which will be pretty hard to topple in the coming days. So Friday is going to be more important than ever, I think.
We should also mention that the Rally Mexico itinerary has a very interesting, let's say, final day. Apart from Las Dunas Super Special número 4, you have 3 stages that are only run once, which is I don't remember when was the last time we saw that. And what's really interesting is that the El Brinco, the power stage, is only run once. So you need to have first pass, and you need to have done your homework. You need to have watched a lot of Reiki videos before the stage to be ready for it.
And the last day does contain the longest stage of the day, which is gonna mess up the pronunciation, Otates.
No way.
At 35
Otates.
kilometers.
No chance. It's Otates.
Otates. Andrew Otates.
Otates.
Andrew Otates.
Close enough.
It'll be
Otates.
Otates.
Yeah.
Prison super special.
What?
No, that's a different super special. We've already have 8. We don't need any more. Anyway, enough about the itinerary and the super specials and whatever. Let's talk about the people who will be sweeping the road and the drivers and the teams. Should we start with M-Sport?
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Sure.
Oit Tanak is leading the championship for the first time since he won it. I want to
2019.
say.
2019,
2019. He won 2019, in case you didn't know, which you should. Anyway, he won Sweden. I think it has to be in one of his top 5 wins. Number 1 has to be Finland last year. The rest, I don't know. We can debate that some other time. But I don't think he's going to win in Mexico. Winning from first on the road is Mexico is very difficult. The last person to do it is Ogier in 2014 or 2015. The Puma has showed a lot of pace on rough gravel from last year. Leb was leading Acropolis. Lube was leading Acropolis. Leb was
It's
leading.
shown some fragility, though, hasn't it?
Yeah, that's the problem. It has showed fragility. And we saw it in Sweden as well, with Lube losing the engine in the power stage. And depends, because we don't know exactly if he lost the power steering in Monaco before the hit or after the hit with the sign. Yes, Tanak. I don't think he's going to win this. I think he needs to show patience and go for the most amounts of points he can get, like Rovambera was doing last year in rallies. I was going to say rallies like Portugal, but he won Portugal. Uh, but he needs to show what Ogier was doing in rough gravel rallies when he was opening the road. Show patience on the first day. Don't say, I'm losing so much time, it's over. Wow. Don't get frustrated. Keep a calm pace, keep a steady pace, and attack on day 2 and day 3.
Okay. The other forwards, we've got Pierre-Louis Loubet.
Yeah, which actually he could be one of the guys who could surprise us. I mean, he showed very good pace in Acropolis, as Dimitris mentioned as well.
He's been on
I would be expecting a little bit of a surprise from him.
He's been on a run of good form recently as well. Just a few minor mechanical faults that have stopped him from getting consistent good results, really.
Yeah, ever since he stepped into the Puma, I think he's been a little bit of a different man than what we saw from him in the 2C Hyundai, which, well, it was a 2C Hyundai, but yeah.
Being in a factory team is really different to being in a privateer team.
Yeah, it's still M Sports, so it's just a little bit of a bigger tent, but.
We've got another Puma, which is Jordan Soterides.
He's not Jordan. He's Jourdan.
Jordan.
Yes.
Do you have anything to mention about him?
He'll be there. That's about it, isn't it?
I want to see how he'll handle the heat, and I want to see him cleaning the road on day 2 and day 3.
He will be there, but the question is for how long?
He's too slow to crash.
What do we think the chances are that he'll be ahead of some of the Rally 2 cars?
None.
Slim to none.
None, okay.
The only place he can be ahead of, anyone, is, Safari, because people crash and he just is...
And there's few entries.
Yeah, that, and he doesn't know how to crash.
Okay.
He believe me, he does know how to crash. He's just too slow to crash.
Yeah. Shall we move on to Toyota?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Kalle Rovanperä.
He's not in a great road position either, is he? He's second.
Yeah, he starts second, so he'll have a bit of road cleaning to do. It is Kalle though, so he'll inevitably end up probably second, I'd say.
I think that Kalle is really fired up after Sweden, and I think he could win this despite being second on the road.
Bold.
And you say bold, but Ogier won in 2018, I think, from second on the road in the Fiesta, and I think what could possibly not help Kalle in Mexico is the fact that he's only done it once in 2020, so he lacks experience compared to his 8-time world champion teammate. But also, the Toyota hasn't been great on rough gravel rallies. Last year we saw a pattern like Sardinia. Evans had a problem and retired. Rovanperä lost his rear wing. Taka was the only Toyota that finished in the points.
Yeah, I think it was.
The other thing going for Rovanperä here is that Ogier hasn't done a gravel rally since sometime last year. So has
Rovanperä. He hasn't done a gravel rally this year.
True. That
no one has.
True.
Well, yes, but interesting actually that you would put Rovanperä as one of the contenders for the win, because I think he will still lose way too much time on the first day, especially because his more experienced teammate Mr. Ogier is running in a good road position, so he is definitely going to capitalize on it. But
yeah, for sure.
Fair point with the reliability. Because literally in Acropolis, we saw none of the Toyotas finish.
Well, we saw Katsuda, but he was turtle pace.
Yeah, exactly. That doesn't count, really.
Well, we've mentioned Ogier. What do we think of his chances?
For me, he's the favorite.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's the clear favorite for the win.
He's got the most experience. He's been retired, kind of,
He's
but he's
won the
still
rally
clearly the
5
favourite.
times. He's won the rally
Yeah.
5 times as well.
I would put him as a clear favourite to win the rally.
Yep, and he has. I think this is the first time he's going to Mexico with such good road position. So that's
He's
worrying for the field.
He's starting 5th on the road, so that's right about where you want to be, isn't it?
Yep, exactly. In rough gravel rallies, you need to be towards the middle or towards the end. We should also mention for anyone that's wondering, no, there won't be any rain in Mexico. Clear skies predicted for the weekend.
What a surprise.
Move on to the next Toyota, Elkin Evans. I think he might be. He's never really on the pace, but he is consistently grabbing that sort of 3rd, 4th place stage times. So he might, through the rally, work his way up somewhere near the podium, I'd say.
I think that I'm gonna be a bit blunt, and I need to say that Elfin really needs to get it together. He had pace in Monty, but in Sweden he looked lost. He had not much confidence in the car, and it looked like he was back to last year when he was like 5th. We're trying. He needs to show more of himself in 2020 and 2021.
Yeah, absolutely. He needs to show why he was contending for the championship 2 years in a row.
Yep.
And he's not really done that of recent, has he?
No.
He hasn't. Last year he was basically hopeless compared to, Rovanperä. Well, he was winning everything, and then Evans, who had been contending for the title 2 years in a row, was just nowhere. So there are expectations on him, which he will have to start meeting. Otherwise, who's going to want him?
I have to say that he has a decent road position compared to the... if we talk about championship contenders that are doing full time, you have your Tanaks, your Vampiros, your Newells. Evans is 4th. He has the best road positions out of the 3 because he's 4th. If he...
He does, but is he actually going to... Do you think he will actually have a chance of being a championship contender?
I'd say I'd go the diplomat way and say it's too early to tell. But from what
he'll
we've
be good
seen,
on the tarmac.
Yes, he has shown the most pace on tarmac in the rally one. He has shown the most pace on tarmac in the rally one. He could have won Ypres if it wasn't for Scott Martin. The time card error. He showed a lot of pace in Japan. He could have won. Croatia, no, never mind.
He was
and
good
Monty
in
this year.
Croatia.
And Monty this year. He had a puncture that dropped him down.
He was good in Croatia in previous years, but yeah, with the rally one, he's been struggling a bit. But tarmac may be his key to unlocking the pace, maybe, and then bringing it to gravel and the one snow rally we have.
Okay, and we got one more Toyota one more Rally 1 Toyota of Takamoto Katsuta.
Maxi, your thoughts?
I think he'll be pretty interesting to watch. I think for him it's a bit of an up and down sometimes. Sometimes he has really good rallies. Sometimes he's just there. I don't really know what to expect of him.
Yeah, I agree.
He's a bit of a mystery.
Well, he's not a bit of a mystery. I can tell you exactly how his rally will go. This is my bold prediction number 2. I can see it happening, right? This is my prediction. This is the first time he's done Mexico in a Premier class car. So he's going to go back to 2021-ish mode. Go to the end of the rally, gather the miles, he hear the commentator say, it's the first time he's doing the rally, he needs to gain experience, etc., 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 and gain from people's DNFing and having mechanical issues and get like a solid top 5.
Yeah, probably. He will
So the
just
standard.
be there running and just taking it easy, probably, and not really risking anything. Just picking up the positions if people fall off with punctures or car issues or crashes or whatever.
Thank you for
And,
sorry, I'll let you finish.
and just taking what he can, as usual.
You mentioned punctures, and we also mentioned them in the intro about Sweden. I would like to say that this is going to be a very interesting rally about punctures, because the tire manufacturer does supply is Pirelli, and we've been quite
Dissatisfied.
quite puncture prone, let's say, even on snow. So, surprisingly enough, we didn't have many punctures in Acropolis, which was the last rough gravel rally, but we did have a lot in Portugal. Greensmith even got one in the Super Special without touching anything, which is stupid. But I really think punctures will be a factor this rally, especially on the second pass on day 1 and day 2 when the stages get rougher. Like some people on the late second pass that are like either from day 1, like your Lubes, your Sodos, your Cederidis, okay, not Cederidis, sorry, your Takas, your Lubes, your Sodos, or in the reverse, whoever's leading on day 2. It could be a big puncture risk in Mexico.
Yeah,
It
especially
will be.
because we have long stages as well, so the tires are getting constantly stressed for, well, in worst cases 35 kilometers in a row. So
Well, the other thing is you start the day with the long stages. So if you get a puncture on those first stages, you've then got another 2 or 3, even 4 to get through.
I think 2 spares is a no-brainer for everyone.
Definitely.
yeah, for sure, but will that be enough at times?
For
Depends
some
on
people, no.
depends on how Terenzio prepares the tires.
Yeah, but I do think though that we'll see at least one retirement because of running out of tires.
Before we get lost in tyres, we should continue the entry list. Hyundai are still here. Thierry Neuville, starting 3rd on the road. Decent at Mexico.
I'd say the opposite.
Bit early on. No? Okay.
I'd say the opposite. He does have 3 podiums, but in the last few years, he's not really finished it, either via crashes or with the car having problems.
If he finishes, he will finish somewhere around the podium.
Yeah, I agree. I think out of the championship contenders like Ravamper and Tanak, okay, we added Evans before, but I think on pace he can beat Evans despite having slightly worse road position. I think Neuville, unless he gets into trouble either with tyres or with the car or with himself, I think he's a lock for the podium for me.
Okay.
He's good on rough gravel rallies. He did well in Portugal before his suspension ordeal or damper. I really don't remember. Sardinia, he was also going well until he rolled. And he won Acropolis. Yeah.
Yeah, all true, but we've seen that the Hyundai is good on rough gravel, but there is still the little bit of a question mark about reliability.
The what question mark?
The question mark about, well, a wheel getting ripped off, for example.
No. The Hyundai has been the most reliable car out of the Rally 1 cars after it, like the sort of upgrades it got after Croatia and Portugal. I don't remember. Well, apart from Sodo's car becoming a bit of a match and a little bit of fire, and yes,
A little bit.
yeah,
Just a little bit.
yeah. Apart from
Was
that,
a slight inferno.
yes, a
Once
slight
or not.
inferno. Apart
An
from that,
insignificant amount of heat.
you could okay. Apart from the Hyundai i20 taking a vacation in Greece in the summer, there haven't been any mechanical retirements for Hyundai unless I'm massively mistaken. They have the best reliability out of the Rally 1 cars. I don't think this is going to be like the 2021 Hyundai where you have all the cars with the right rear suspension being wonky and retiring.
Maybe it's just PTSD from all the tires getting
WRC.
ripped off from leading the rally.
Yeah, Hyundai does have a second full-time driver in Esa-Pekka Lappi. He's a bit hard to judge at times, isn't he?
Yeah, he is, because
he shows
going
pace,
into,
but then
he's got to have a bit of time, I guess, to settle into the full-time role. He's been doing part-time for a bit now, and he has to get a bit into the flow again of doing a full season and delivering rally every rally, you know.
He's got to get used to the Hyundai as well.
Yeah, for sure. It's a very different car from the Toyota.
I think he has a very good road position. He's
Sixth on the road.
Sixth on the road, and from a good road position, he was doing good in Sardinia, and he was doing decently in Acropolis as well. So if he shows the pace he showed in Sweden, I think he could get a good result, because I think there's going to be at least one surprise in the top 5 this weekend.
Yeah. Okay. Anyone else got anything to add?
Not particularly. Can we move on to Danny Sordo?
Yeah, Danny Sordo in now for his second rally of the year, isn't it, for Danny?
Yes, he did
Monty.
Yeah. Not very good in Monty.
Yeah, but I would
Monty
expect
was
him
tarmac
to be
though,
better.
so
Yeah, I would expect
this
him
is
to be better on
gravel.
rough gravel.
Last year, pretty much every rally, Danny ended up about third. So I'd sort of expect him to continue that sort of run somewhere, to have a good rally, somewhere around the back of the podium, top 5.
I was expecting more pace from Sordo last year on rough gravel rallies. In Monty, he looked a bit lost with the car. When I say bit, totally lost. I think this is a good chance for him to have a decent result in the Rally 1 i20, because he's good on rough gravel. It's quite funny actually, because when I was young, I knew him as the tarmac specialist, helping Loeb against the Fords, etc., etc. But now he's rough gravel, which is complete opposite. But oh well. I think if he shows pace, he's going to be good. But yes, okay, that's a given. I
The
think
Will Buxton of WRC here.
Oh, come on, don't do me like that. I think if Sordo, what I'm trying to say, if Sordo shows pace, it's going to be like we can see how his season will go. If he doesn't show pace, then if I was Hyundai, I'd be getting some thoughts about Breen and next season, if you get me.
Yeah. If he doesn't have pace on tarmac, and if he then also doesn't have pace on gravel, then what does he even do? Because if you're doing part-time drives anyway, you're trying to put in drivers who are good at any type of event. So you'd expect any sort of to be good at the rough gravel rally. So you put him in for Mexico, Portugal, Acropolis, and expect him to basically deliver a podium if everything goes well and he has no problems that are out of his control. And last year he did deliver fairly well, actually, in terms of results. So I think he's gonna, well, be good on pace still on rough gravel, but I think maybe he might have some bad luck.
Zener, your thoughts on the Hyundais?
Yeah, I think Sordo will be quite good. Around the same pace as Lappi. I feel like Neville might either make a mistake or get some sort of mechanical issue, maybe.
Right.
I myself have a lot of confidence in Sordo. Every rally I've watched so far live, every rally I've watched so far that was rough gravel and had Sordo in it, he did really well. He was either fighting for a win or actually leading. So I think he'll do his thing.
We must
Okay.
also remember that drivers like Breen and Sordo, their goal is not to win rallies per se. The first goal is to help Hyundai and the manufacturers.
Yeah. Okay. Should we jump in quickly, run through some of the top WRC2 and Rally 2 entries?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Okay. First
a
up,
very
Gus
Skoda-
Greensmith. Yeah, very Skoda entry list.
Yes, Skoda concentrated entry list like the entire championship.
Gus Greensmith back now. First WRC event since the end of last year, wouldn't it be?
Yep.
Yeah.
He did.
This time in a Rally 2. He's in a Skoda Fabia RS Rally 2.
We should mention. We also mentioned it in the FAF episode that he did a sort of snow rally for preparation for Mexico.
It didn't
As you
really
do.
go to plan, did it?
Yeah, there was a bit of snow.
Yeah, and there was a bit of a
was-
pons.
A bit of a pons. There's never a bit of a pons, unfortunately. There's all of
There's always
pons.
a lot of
A bit
pons.
No. A bit of a pons. Actually, I'll tell you when you can find a bit of a pons. A bit of a pons is when you find like his bumper that he's lost in a ditch. That's when you get a bit of a pons.
Okay. I get it now.
Okay.
Anyway, what do you
What do we
think?
think for Gus? I think he's a good shot for winning WRC2.
The title?
The rally,
I
the
don't.
class.
I don't think.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
I think Solberg probably has the most
Yeah,
chance at winning.
I'd say Solberg
Because
would be
he's-
the obvious choice, but I think Gus will be somewhere in around there.
What's really interesting is that for people like Gus, Solberg, and Fourmont, well, a bit less about Fourmont because the Fiesta is poo-poo, if you
Yes.
get what I'm talking about.
It's a bit how you going.
Yes, it's a bit not best, not great.
Yes.
They need to show, because we saw them in a Rally 1 car last year, they need to show how they fare against young drivers like Lindholm, like Bayari, like Gryazin. They need to show how they fare against them in Rally 2s. So, like, if they go in WRC2 and win comfortably, then they deserve a Rally 1 seat. They need to come back to the Premier category. But if they are on par or lower than the WRC2 regulars that we have this year and last year, then you could end up being like Mikkelsen and Osberg, just stuck in WRC2 forever. So
And
this is a
eventually
make or
fading
break
in.
season for a lot of them.
You'll
Well,
just
like I said,
eventually
with
fade into
Gus.
obscurity doing like Hungarian championships.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, I think Gus if Solberg and others have problems, I think he'll be right there ready to take the victory.
We should also mention that what Gassa said his favorite rally is Portugal. Like last year, remember he said it last year. I think this is probably the closest you get to Rally Portugal-ish. So he likes rough gravel. So this could, if he wants to make a statement, he can make it here, and it will be the boldest one of all, because you're in your debut.
Okay.
You have Lindholm, you have Solberg, you have Fourmore, and Solberg. And if you beat them, then fair play, hats off.
Okay, yeah. As you say, we've also got on the entry list, also in a Skoda, is Oliver Solberg. Probably the clear favourite to win WRC2.
Yeah, for me, he is the favourite.
Anyone else thoughts?
No, he's probably gonna be decent. Nothing much to say really. I think he's shown a bit of pace already in the new Fabia, and well, not new Fabia, is it? Anyway, he's shown a bit of pace, but he'll have to prove it in Mexico as well against drivers like Lindholm, drivers like Gus. Show that he's on the level.
I'm worried he hasn't really got rid of the habit of making mistakes that end his rally. I mean, he did well in Sweden, but that's on snow, and well, he's an incredible driver on snow. But yeah, I don't know if he'll even finish the rally. That is my main worry. If he doesn't crash, he'll win. But yeah.
Yeah, you're right. He also crashed in Monty twice. Well, okay, the one was a puncture, and the other one was hitting a bank. You're absolutely right. I think the surface that we can agree that Solberg has showed a lot of pace in every car is snow.
Yeah.
He did show pace in Monty and tarmac, but it's a matter, as Maxi said, and I agree 100%, if he can keep it on the road.
Yeah. Got Adrian Formeau in a Ford Fiesta Rally too. So
He's in a Fiesta. I don't think he's going to trouble.
yeah,
But
probably.
But I will say this: he has the most experience in the sort of car he's driving, because he did the Rally of Nations last year in the Fiesta Rally too. So he knows the roads, some of the roads, obviously. But still, I think there's quite deficit between.
Will he be able to overcome the performance deficit the car has?
No, I
Most
don't
likely
think so.
not.
I don't think so, and it's a shame because I really like Adrian Fourmore, but the Fiesta desperately needs updates, and he got some last year, but he really don't seem to have made any tricks.
It needs an engine update.
Yeah, it definitely needs an engine update, and I think it may be time that we see the Puma Rally 2 maybe developed.
Yeah, it just makes no sense to have the Fiesta just lingering around if they've taken it out of production as well.
Next on the entry list, Nikolai Gryazen.
Yeah, he's only for
we've just lost.
constructors.
Yeah, he's not doing the WRC2.
Yeah, but I think he'll be a good shot at the podium for the event for the RC2 cars.
Yeah, I think he's just here for manufacturer's points. It's whatever, like in Sweden.
Yeah, he'll just
he's in
be
a
there
Skoda.
to do some driving.
He's in the Evo version of the Rally 2.
Yeah, in the old one.
Yeah, so it's Lindholm as well.
Yeah.
We should mention that they are entered for TalkSport 2, the second team, and they are on old Fabias. Wait, they're not?
Yes, they are.
Ah, okay.
they are.
TalkSport 2 with the old Fabias, because of logistics, because if something happened to one of the Fabias in Mexico and the chassis got really damaged, there's not a lot of Fabias and they're really in demand. And if something happened to one of them, it would I don't know, cost the team a lot, and the factories would need to work a bit of overtime to get the new chassis ready and logistics, etc., etc., etc.
Mm.
The Fabia Rally 2 is probably the second best Rally 2 you can get anyway. The
Mm.
R5 ever is what I mean. Sorry. So
Yeah, fair enough.
not much difference really.
Mm. Just missing those latest updates, really, isn't it? So, yeah, Greisen should do well. Emil Lindholm probably do well as well. Probably be around the same pace as Greisen, I'd say.
Or faster.
Probably a bit faster, actually.
Yeah, expecting quite a bit from Lindholm, to be honest. We actually did see as well, even Jari Huttunen doing some pretty impressive stage times in the historic Fabia. So I don't think Lindholm will be that far off the pace of even Greensmith or Solberg, to be honest.
I think
and he has a lot of
experience.
Sorry, and he will have a lot of experience in the car, considering he won the championship in it last year.
Exactly. So I think he could even challenge for the top spots, not only fighting Grazin.
I'd say the last one we should mention would be Kaitanowicz, also in a Fabia Rally 2 Evo.
Debut with the new car.
No, it's the old one.
It's Rally 2 Evo.
Rally 2. No, it's not a Rally 2 Evo. RS Rally 2.
Yes, it is.
No, it's the
No.
The entry list says Rally 2 Evo.
Well, the entry list is wrong. It's the RS Rally 2.
Alright then.
Literally just did it today. We saw the new livery.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
Alright.
nice, actually.
Brand new car for him.
I'll tell you why it's...
I can't say I rate him too highly to be competitive, but I think he'll be somewhere around top 5, maybe.
I'd say he can beat... Last year, we remember Kaito. He did show a lot of pace at times, but we mostly remember him for trying to win the World Championship by going to overseas rallies.
Yes, he...
I think he's probably the best privateer we have.
Yeah, no question.
Yeah.
Because he owns his cars, etc.
Yeah.
And about the little mishap we had with the what car is he driving? There was a story like 2 weeks ago, I think, that was him deciding what car he will use, because the RS Rally 2 has a new engine, which has more power and gives you more speed, etc., etc. But I think the R5 Evo is more agile and better on slow rallies. So he was entered with a car provisionally. I think if you're a privateer, you can change it. And because he did the presentation today, he Rally 2 Kaito car, we saw it. So I think it's the Rally 2 RS. If it's not, we look like a bunch of bozos, but that's the fun of it.
Actually, Kaito revealed both the old Fabia and the new Fabia, I think.
For this season.
So we have no clue, basically. So, as you said, the old Fabia is probably more agile, so
yes.
It could be the old one. That's what the entry list says as well. It would make sense because the new Fabia is like quite significantly bigger as well than the old one.
Wider, chunkier.
Yeah, it is. So I think it might be the old one actually then.
Yep, both.
We'll find out on Thursday.
Yeah, we will.
Also at the rally is...
drives both of them on the shakedown.
No, he will go,
he
yes,
cuts
I
them
am
in half and sticks them together.
And then it says, I am Kajetan.
He gets like a helicopter to go back to the start of the stage and drives it again.
Bertelli style.
Last driver I mentioned, Martin Prokop. He'll be there. He's a fan favourite, but he's a bit slow.
He's Silver's favorite.
Very.
Silver, would you like to
Yeah.
would you like to tell us your Prokop story?
Do I have to?
Yes.
Oh my god.
I've not heard
Okay,
this.
so we went to Safari in 2021, right?
Yes.
And Safari, it's a rally known for copious amounts of mechanical issues. And I predicted Martin Prokop as the only WRC2 entry, to come third overall in the rally. Are you
Wha-
happy?
Yeah.
Where
I've
did
mentioned this on the
Very
podcast
bold
already.
choice.
Where did he finish?
He crashed.
On what
She
stage?
did.
He simply had to finish to win WRC2, and he couldn't.
What stage did he crash on?
I don't remember.
Kedong?
I seem to remember it being very early on.
I think it was.
I think it was day 1 second pass.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're rambling on about a rally that was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Yes, but it was a good one.
Can we just say Martin Prokop, yes, everyone likes him, but he's there to have fun and not to chase any
Yeah.
results.
Yes.
Yes. And that's why we
And
love
he's
him.
getting experience for his rally rate program because it's rough gravel. Not that he
Yes.
needs any.
Mhm.
All right.
Yeah.
Should we move on to our picking our top 5 predictions?
Sure.
Yeah, why not?
Who wants
No
to
one got
start?
anything to add?
Would you like to go first, Dimitris?
Yeah, sure. I'm gonna go first to fifth.
All right.
For my winner, I have Ogier.
Mm-hmm.
Easy.
For second, I have put Kalle.
Fair.
Newell in third.
Okay.
Tanak in fourth. And Lube in fifth.
Oh, nice. Expecting a lot, I see.
For who?
Because you're expecting Lube to do well. And
Well, I'd hope.
for the M Sport to not die.
Oh, that was a variable I didn't consider. Ah, crap. Well, I've written it down in my notebook, so that's staying there.
Well, yeah. Anyway, would we like to move on, Maxi? What's your top 5?
So my I also go from first to fifth. I predicted OG as the winner. Then second, also Kalle. But then on third, I have actually Tanak in front of Newell, who is in fourth, and Evans, who's in fifth. I think Tanak is quick enough to, even though with the road cleaning, to beat both Newell and Evans. And I think Newell has the edge over Evans.
Fairs.
Fair enough.
I think all of us
Yeah,
have put
yeah.
OGS first.
Yeah, I don't think
Yep.
there's any question
I
about
think all of us have the same top 2, actually.
Okay, I think you've jinxed
possibly.
it. I think you've spoiled your first two, so come on, Matt, tell us your
Yeah,
first
so
two.
Ogier first, Rovanperä second. I've put Tanak third as well. Fourth, I've gone for Danny Sordo.
Yeah,
And
Danny
fifth,
Soto. You two didn't put Danny Soto in the top 5 at all.
fifth, I've gone for Lappy.
Okay.
What do you think is gonna happen to Newell?
Sixth.
Sixth, really? So
Where's
Tanak,
Hyundai?
Tanak will be road sweeping and finishing third, and Newell will be sixth.
You might hit a bank. We never know.
I see.
He does
If he
have an
hits a back,
attraction.
it's over.
He does have an attraction to banks. Anyway,
Yeah.
Zena, top 5.
Yep. I've also gone with Newell in sixth. Yeah.
I asked for the top 5.
I know.
didn't understand the
Just like you.
assignment.
But I have Tanak in fifth. Then Esa-Pekka in fourth.
Thank you, Finland.
Danny Sordo in third. And then, Rovanperä second,
Hey,
first.
interesting of you to put Tanak 5th, knowing your nationality.
Look
Did
who's
you run through
talking.
yours, Silver?
All right. Speaking of, I'll go from first to 5th because we know the top 2 anyway. Ogier and Rovanperä are first and second. I don't think there's any debate in that. Third, Tanak. I think he will just be safe, take the best times he can out of a tricky situation, and capitalize and be third. Fourth, actually, I've put Elvin Evans. Curiously enough, I think he might do a little bit better than we might originally think. And fifth, I put Thierry Neuville, which actually, looking at the entire picture, I would have originally expected myself to put more Hyundais in the top 5, but I haven't. So there we go. That's it.
If you're listening to this and you want to tell us your top 5, you can comment it on
Twitter,
wherever you're
on
listening.
Instagram, wherever you want.
But not on Tumblr. We're not on Tumblr.
We're not on Tumblr. You can
Who
also
uses
comment.
We're also not on 4chan.
We should be though. Maybe not. Maybe not. I've just remembered stuff.
Power Slide Podcast LinkedIn when?
Never.
Never. Wherever you are listening, we would appreciate it if you followed us, subscribed, liked, whatever you can do on whatever platform you are listening on.
And tell us where we can improve.
And what's our Twitter and Instagram handles?
Power Slide Pod for Twitter.
Power Slide Podcast for Instagram. Follow
Very
us. Good. Tweet at us. Comment. Say what we are wrong on. Say what you agree with. And
tell us your bold predictions. Let's get a conversation going.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So.
All right.
I think you can wrap it up.
Yep, wrap it up. Thank you everyone for listening to us. And see you after Mexico for our Rally Mexico review when we will have more to talk about. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.